Let's watch some CNN, shall we?
Barack Obama is back on the campaign trail and he's making the case against Donald Trump. But before his guest feature in Pennsylvania, Obama made a surprise visit to Kamala Harris's campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh. It was there that he got candid, maybe a little too candid if you are in the vice president's inner circle tonight. He warned that Harris is underperforming him with black voters, and he had a message specifically for black men.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
A couple of points. One, you can see her face here. You can definitely tell she got a bit of satisfaction out of that. But the second point is, if you watch the video I did comparing James Brown when he supported, I think it's Herbert Humphreys, for president versus this particular display, James Brown said, we want X, Y, Z. And then right after he said that, you had the candidate come up and say, I'm committed to doing these things for the black community. We're not hearing any of that. It's just finger wagging. It's unfortunate, but it's interesting because I think the new temperature or the climate that we're in now, you're going to see in this conversation, the record gets set straight about how you can single out one particular people or group of people and say, you're the reason why you should do X, Y, and Z. And if you don't do X, Y, and Z properly, you're contributing to whatever, as opposed to policy points. And it's going to get called out on CNN of all places.
CNN political commentator Errol Lewis is in our fifth seat for this conversation. Errol, I guess he knew the cameras were there. It was an unscheduled stop, but that message was so pointed.
She enjoyed that.
In addition to him making it very clear, Kamala Harris is not doing what she needs to do with this core Democratic constituency.
That's right. Although he is asking her, let's be clear, to go over a very high hurdle. Barack Obama got historic levels of black voter registration and turnout and support, and he did it twice. It was almost inevitable that it was going to swing more toward the long-term average of a handful of black voters.
Can I interrupt you for just a moment, just to show you something here? Because we went back, looked at 2020 exit polls. Biden got 92% of the black vote. Right now, according to Quinnipiac, this is in Pennsylvania, according to Quinnipiac, Harris is at 78. It's a big gap in this state right now. And that can be closed because Biden is not Barack Obama.
Biden is not, well, he was Obama's running mate. Right. Certainly some spillover there. But you cannot ask of every black candidate in the post-Obama era, you've got to come up with 92% of the black vote every time. That is just not a reasonable assumption. If the margins are as tight as they're likely to be in this race, that's going to cause you problems in Pittsburgh and in Philadelphia and in Detroit and in Milwaukee and in Atlanta and in all of the swing states. And so they're going to have to come up with a strategy. Now, Barack Obama is trying one strategy, trying to sort of connect with some of the black male voters who they think have been drifting away and are likely to drift away in these last 26 days. I'm not sure that's the right message. I mean, they have to try something.
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, this is not a nice message. This is a very stern message.
Let me ask you a question, Abby and Nina. Let me say, I find it.
This is really interesting, the juxtaposition here, and this is right up BGS Ibmore's alley, because when we're talking about what black people and specifically black men want from this election, you're going to see the direction it goes.
It's very interesting that we're trying to reach out to white men. We're trying to reach out to black men. The people whose rights are really on the ballot right now are women. And we're begging all these men to pay attention to us and to care enough about this election, to vote, to come out, to support us. I feel like Barack going on the campaign trail right now makes perfect sense. Of course, right? He's a top surrogate for Democrats. He should be out there doing the work right now. I think it's so amazing to me me that with women's rights on the line, we're spending so much time focusing on making sure men care.
Because men, I don't know, it's because men are the problem
Men
right now
should
for
care.
Very interesting that men are the problem, but if you're not participating in the voting process, then how are you the problem? It's very interesting, all of it. And I'm not one to do a lot of political commentary, but you can see a lot of things playing here where black boys are having difficulty performing at grade level. Nobody cares. Black men are doing very well in the labor market despite a lot of things that are not going in black men's favor. Nobody really cares. You need to be doing even better, even though there are a lot of systemic reasons why black men are not even performing as well as we could if we were getting all those things. Well, all that aside, this conversation boils down to, well, what about what these group of women in this particular election want, as opposed to inflation and all the other stuff that's going on? It's really interesting because, again, you remember Joe Clark said, I don't have to do anything except stay black and die. Well, black men don't have to do anything except stay black and die.
I mean, women.
and by the way, Governor Walz, according to Politico, is going to be going out on a men tour, literally a tour of media to appeal to men.
They need to appear.
Now, this is the reason why I did the video. Shout out to this woman because she's going to call it straight up.
Appeal to the needs of the voters. And so when I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio, right now the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice, but to be down 11 points compared to President Biden, that is a problem. But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President Obama, but for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups, my message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think, sorry to interrupt.
I don't need to watch all of the video, but it's very interesting to hear this woman essentially say what is on the conscience of a growing number of black men. Listen, I'm a voter. Come to me with a policy to vote for. If you don't have a policy for me to vote for, then I might vote somewhere else. But don't come finger wagging saying you're supposed to vote a certain way unless you're going to finger wag everybody. This is a new thing. And quite frankly, I'm happy to see it. Because for too long, it's been, you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do, be a good boy, do what you're told, and things are going to continue as they have, which, of course, aren't great for black men in terms of leading healthy families, etc. I'm just really happy to see this, and I saw this clip, and generally speaking, I would not make this kind of video, but I wanted to speak on this because however you feel about this election, there's a certain way that black men have to demand being respected in terms of being spoken to. And a president that we supported in the past cannot come to black men and say, hey, listen, guys, you voted for me, so you should vote for her, without having a reason why. Because this election is just like any other election. We're not supposed to be voting for people we like. We're supposed to be voting for policies we support. And if you don't have any policies, go speak to small hats, go speak to white men, go speak to white women, LGBTQ in the same way, finger wagging and say, you voted for me, so you should vote for her, and see what kind of response you get. It's good to see that black men are starting to put a little bit of a arch in the back and say, hey, listen, come talk to me like a man, or don't talk to me at all. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.